What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jack. Today we're going to be talking about no excuses. Let's get it. Let's take it back. January 2009. The economic crisis was in full effect. There was a bad recession going on. And, people were losing their jobs. People were having a hard time paying their bills. The unemployment was rising. And your boy Jack lost his job. I was 34 years old and I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was working for a bank and I lost a job. The economy crashed and basically they had no room for me anymore. So January 2009, I get laid off. And so it was during the Obama administration. And during the Obama administration, I was collecting unemployment. And during that time, I kind of loafed around. I loafed around from January 2009 till about October 2009. So that's a solid 9 months of me moping around, not really doing much. I would teeter totter and little things here and there in the entertainment business, but it was nothing that was bringing any money or any value to me. And it definitely wasn't enough to sustain my family. So I kind of fell into a little bit of a depression, a little bit of, loss of hope and trying to figure out what at 34 years old could I possibly do to save the rest of my life? Because that's basically how I was thinking. I was 34 years old. I lost my job. I had no real skill on other than the art of voice. And, I just really didn't know what to do. So a couple of my friends, they come over and they go ahead and, come over to cheer me up in a way. And I had a camera laying on the floor and it was dusty. Didn't even care about it. And one of my boys picks it up. He's like, hey, this shoot video. And I said, yeah. So one of them sings, he's a rapper, and he's like, let's do a music video. And without missing a beat, I said, I got real life problems about to happen. I really don't have time for this. And so, they kind of forced my hand to do it, and I really didn't want to do it. I was like, oh, am I really serious here? Like, I'm picking up a camera that I never even cared about just to do a video. I had no clue. I was even looking for the record button. I didn't even know where it was. So I said, I assume it's the red big one. Anyway, we go ahead and we shoot this terrible music video. And I look on YouTube and I type in how to edit a music video. And sure enough, certain things start popping up. Said, hey, you have a Windows PC? This is probably the best program for it. At the time, that was actually called Sony Vegas. A lot of people I know started on Sony Vegas. That's the funny thing, So I guess it's my first Sony of video editing programs. It's a good program, but I no longer use it anymore. But anyway, so I go ahead on YouTube and I search and I see, okay, so I need this program. Let me download it. So I go ahead and I download it. Took me about 2 weeks to edit this video because I had no clue. And I put a hard 2 weeks into it. And in those hard 2 weeks, I said, oh man, this is all right. Mind you, it's trash. Don't ask me to look for it on YouTube. You will not find it. That's it. Case closed. But coincidentally, a couple people in my local area back in Pennsylvania, Allentown, Pennsylvania, they said, "Hey, um, you did that video?" I'm like, "Yeah, why? How much?" I said, "How much for what?" "For a music video." And in my head, I was like, "You guys will pay me for this?" So kind of a light bulb went off on my head. I'm like, "Wait a minute." So I called my boy back up and I say, "Hey, let's revisit this idea. Let's do another one, but this time I put a little bit more effort in it." So I go ahead and I put in this effort, and we do another one. And sure enough, came out better. I went on YouTube, learned a little bit more. And again, the phone calls coming in. "Hey, you did that video too?" I said, "Yes." "How much?" And I'm like, I didn't know what to charge. So I look online to see how much unemployment I had left in order to sustain my living. Now, mind you, it was just to sustain. I was not balling by any means. Certain bills were getting skipped. Electric was getting cut off and getting cut back on. My wife was working and it wasn't enough to cover the bills. So struggle was really there. We had to make decisions. I would get the Walmart calls. "Hey, babe, how much is in the bank account? I need to buy such and such for food. I need to buy such and such for, Jaden, our daughter." And, it's embarrassing as a man. You feel like embarrassed. You feel like demasculated because you're getting a phone call from your wife finding out, just to try to find out how much is in the bank in order to go necessity shopping and to make decisions financially to go and get just necessities. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it was nerve wracking. It was something that I really didn't want to deal with. And it would make my stomach turn. But I went ahead and I just kept plucking away. And I said, you know what, this could be the answer. And so I just threw a number out there, and the number that I came up with was 500. I said, I'm just going to do $500 videos. And in my mind, I followed the Michael Jordan mentality. Michael Jordan, they would ask him, "Hey, how do you score 30 plus points a game?" He said, "Well, it's really easy. You just need to, every quarter, I need this many baskets to get to the fourth quarter. By the end of that fourth quarter, I would get a total of this number." So he would just basically put a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, and a little bit here, and it adds up into what he would be his end result, his goal for every game. Now, obviously, he superseded his goal many, many, many times, but he always had that minimum that he required in his brain. So I followed that mentality. I said, okay, so if I did 10 music videos a month, charging around that price, now mind you, it wasn't always that price. Sometimes I would have to do 200, 300, whatever. But I checked how much I was making working, and I said, okay, I need to make a little bit more than what I was making in order for me to grow the income and sustain my family, but also somehow grow a little bit of a business. So I went online to see how much unemployment I had left, and it said I had about, at the time it was November, so I had till July 2010. So that's how much I had left. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do this, and I'm gonna save as much money as possible. So by the time that time comes, July, I'll be able to get better equipment. And that's exactly what I did. I told my wife, I said, "Babe, I'm not going back to work." She looked a little bit worried. I discussed it with a few family members, and, some supported, some thought I was out of my mind, and that's okay. I'm fine. Friends thought I was crazy. But I knew that this was my second chance at life. So I went ahead and, July 2010 comes, and that was it. Like I said, okay, I'm on my own. And I was looking for a name for a company. And not too long after that, my dad had passed away, and he used to play poker, and he loved poker. So every time that we have the hand Jack Nine, he will always win. So in honor of my dad, I remember I had the tattoo, and it's right here actually. It's a tattoo that says Jack Nine, in memory of my father. And I looked at it one day, I said, Jack Nine Films. And I just loved the way it sounded. So I ran with it. And it's kind of symbolic because his lucky hand ended up becoming my lucky hand. And so it was like a really good decision to name my company and honor my father, because my father was a dope human being. He knew how to treat people, and I always follow the example of my dad on how to treat people and be fair and love on people. So, and that's exactly what my dad did. Fast forward, and things started growing in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and started expanding on the outskirts of Pennsylvania, trickling down to Philadelphia, trickling down to New Jersey, trickled down to New York City, and then it trickled down to Puerto Rico in 2012. And that's when things started getting a little bit more serious. So, 2012 comes and the name is growing. I ended up, you know, getting some accolades in my local area, and which was really nice. And people were recognizing my work. I ended up on the news a few times, and that was nice as well. And so, that's what it was until, I started becoming what I call unsafe contentment, meaning I started feeling content. And in most cases, people will be like, I'm fine. I'm fine where I'm at. I don't need any changes. I'm financially better than I've ever been. And I don't want to take any more risks. That's what most people would have done in my place. But I'm not most people. I decided back about 4 years ago, little over 4 years ago, that I was way too comfortable in my space. Yes, it felt great. I felt like Cheers, the song Cheers, where everybody knows your name, like that's the environment I was in. Everybody knew my name, and I was a local little, I don't want to say celebrity, but I was locally known very well and very well respected. And again, I loved it. But it was like a dangerous feeling, because I knew if I was going to take this to the next level, it was not going to happen there. And not that they don't deserve it, that it didn't happen there, but I have to be the example. At least that's how I thought, that I needed to get out and get out of my comfort zone. And that's exactly what I did. So 4 and a few months ago, I moved over to Orlando, Florida. And I came down here with no intention of, I don't know who knows me. I don't know nothing. I had a couple artist friends, but I never made the assumption that anybody was going to give me a helping hand. I'm always with the mentality like, okay, I'm on my own, I'm on my own, I'm on my own, I'm on my own. And so I go ahead and I come down here, and within a week, I was working. And within a week, I did my first music video in Orlando, Florida. Coincidentally, actually, that's the plaque right there. And, that plaque means a lot to me because it was the first one. And I came down here scared. I came down here worried, but hungry, starving. Even though, again, I left the comfort of home to seek something more, where I didn't know what I was seeking. I just knew that I was seeking something. Now, fast forward to 2020, and it's been a challenging year. And I feel the same hunger that I felt in 2009, where the economy was down, everything was bad, The world was all over the place. And I didn't give up. So, my business partner, moved here on faith as well 3 years ago. And we said, we're going to do this, man. We're going to do this. And that's exactly what we did. We did it. Obstacles was all over the place. Challenges was all over the place. Fear was all over the place, because I don't want to hear it. People out there, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner, fear is there. The problem is, don't let that fear blind you. Very important. Don't let that fear blind you. So we here, 2020, Jack Nine Films. We've traveled the world. We've seen some things. I'm blessed. And I want you to know that this journey that I've been on for the last 11 years has been one of the greatest journeys of my life. And I know that it's going to get only better. And I know that it's going to get phenomenal. And I'm super happy. And I know that there's going to be more obstacles. I know there's going to be more challenges. But I'm ready for them. And I want you guys to be ready for them too. I want you guys to know that there is a way. At 34 years old, during an economic crisis, this person right here that's speaking to you lost his job, almost lost his home, was financially in shambles. And I went through a roller coaster ride for 11 years. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, but still focused on what I needed to do. No excuses. None. Zero. We cannot have excuses. If you're trying to start any business, if you're trying to start any type of entrepreneurship, whether it be in the film industry, it doesn't matter. You could be the person cutting grass and be the best person cutting grass. You could be the best person painting a house, be the best person painting the house. The point is, you're going to go through obstacles, but people don't want to hear excuses. People just want you to hear the final result. People just want to hear and see the final result. And that's all it's all about. No excuses, getting to the finish line. You don't have to be first. Just finish the race. All right? Jack Nine. Let's get it.